So the first one that we're going to see is called the array. And this is the most basic data structure. This is supported natively in Java. It's not a library. It's natively supported and it's part of the language. It's basically a sequence of contiguous memory spaces where you can allocate, when you can put objects or primitives values. For example, an integer, which is a primitive value, you can put many integers in a contiguous list. So in a list of contiguous memory spaces. This list is a fixed size list. Once it has been created, it cannot change the size. So for example, if I create an array of size 5, I cannot change the size in the future. I cannot add new elements. I cannot remove elements. I can change elements. So I can modify them, but I cannot remove them completely. I cannot make it an array of size 4 and I cannot make it an array of size 6 once it has been created with 5. Here's an example how we represent an array of integers. Here's 5 integers, one beside the other. In the case of an array of strings, because strings are objects, this is how they are stored in memory. The array will have references to these strings, but it won't have the strings themselves stored inside the array. So this is how it would look kind of in memory. You would have the contiguous spaces of memory here, and those will be the references to the different strings in memory. But because that way of representing it is quite messy, we usually represent it like this because this is what we usually mean when we have an array of strings. We have to know, if we're Java developers, we have to know that actually the values stored in the array are the references and not the actual strings. But for the everyday use, we just use this representation. We can access elements of the array randomly, which means I can send the index of the element I want to see, and it will return the element at that position. But the index in Java is 0 base. That means that the first element has the index of 0, and the last element will have an index of the size of the array minus 1. For example, in this case, we have a 5 elements array, and if we want to access the first element, it would be the index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3, and finally index 4. If I would send the index 5, it will throw an exception, a runtime exception that will terminate my program if I don't handle it. So let's create an int array. So to create to declare a variable as an int array, I just say int and I add these square brackets to signify that it's an array. And then I just name it, for example, int, or I could say array, okay? And in here, I can say just new int, and I have to send the size of the array. For example, I will say 5. Now, let's traverse the array using a for loop. So I'm going to start a for loop here, and I'm going to use the array length as the upper limit of the for loop. And then I will say simply print out the, let's say, index and the value of the index, element, and the value of the element. And here I'm going to say simply I, and then array, and here's how we access the array. So in this case, I'm accessing the array with the value of I. So I will be 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, and then 4. And if I run this, let's see what happens, because I haven't added any value to the array now. I just initialize it with the size of 5. So this is what happens in Java if you initialize an array with the size of 5. It will create an array with all zeros. And this is something that Java does by default, but other languages like C doesn't do it by default. If this was C, what I would have here, it would be a random number of it would be a random number that would be an rubbish that was in the memory at the time that I created the array. And that is not useful at all. So Java by default initializes it in 0. Let's see what happens if the array is a string array and I don't add any values. So it will be automatically initialized by Java. So I have to change this to an S because we have a string. And let's run this. Okay, so because we have an array of strings, what we end up having here is it's all nulls, because it's a string. A string is an object. We have an array of objects, an array of references. Because we haven't initialized it, the reference is null. So we can set an element on the array. We can set it to null always, which is not recommended, but it can be done. So what we can do as well is I can show you what happens if I try to access the value of if I try to access randomly an array, for example, like this, and I say, for example, 5, right? A string at 5. So because this has 5 elements and the arrays are 0 based, the last element would be at index 4. But if I use 5, I will get an exception. And IntelliJ is already pointing at this because it has warned me. This is not a compilation issue. So this will compile, but it will throw an exception in runtime. So if I run this, you can see we have an array index out of bound exception. Index 5 out of bounds for length 5. If I were to use 4, for example, nothing happens. So we don't get an exception. Okay, as I showed you before, you can traverse arrays using this syntax similar to what we have in C, C++, and many other languages. Or we could use the for each syntax, which in Java looks something like this. It would be string. This is just a random name. It could be S, it could be whatever. This is the name of a temporary variable. And I'm going to say array. So this is usually spelled something like for a string in array, and I'm going to do things for each string. Okay, so I'm going to say again, I could print them like that, and just because I want to show you also how I can initialize an array of strings, I'm going to create here hello and then world. So if I run this now, you can see hello world. So this is another way in which you can iterate over an array. And then there is there is an API inside the Java libraries, which is called arrays. And this arrays class has a lot of different methods that you can use to work with arrays, because arrays are pretty simple. That's pretty much everything that you can do with arrays. You can, but there are a lot of algorithms that are built on top of arrays. So, for example, you can turn an array into a list, or you can binary search something in an array, or you can copy an array, or you can sort an array. So there are a lot of different algorithms that you can do that are already built in. One of the things, the basic things that you can do with arrays is basically replace values of it. For example, let's say I created this array here, and now I just want to say, instead of hello, I want to say hi. So I'm going to say array 0, and instead of hello, I'm going to say hi. Okay, so now if I run this, it's not going to say hello, it's going to say hi world. So these are very simple operations that we can do with arrays. Let's just try to sort. For example, if I have an array of integers again, and I'm going to say, and they are not order, so 5, then 1, then -40, then 3, then 8, and I can now I'm going to put here, I will print them, but before I print them, I'm going to say arrays and then sort, and I'm going to send my array to be sorted. This will change the array, so this doesn't return anything. This will sort the actual array. So let's see how it's sorted. So we have sorted the array in the natural order. So basically from the lower value to the upper value. And like this, we have multiple algorithms. So I would recommend you to take a look at them and play with them. But these are very useful. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then leave a like, a comment, and subscribe to the channel so that you can get notifications every time there is a new video. Bye!